Annie, welcome to our garden. This is my lifeline, This is what keeps me happy, and I bought this house for the garden, nothing else.
A place of tranquility and peace, but life has not always reflected these feelings for Dr. Bharat Pankhania. His determination to support others has taken him across the world. He travelled to the aftermath of the Gujarat earthquake in India in 2001. The expert in infectious disease was then put in the spotlight through his views of the government's handling of the pandemic. He says he wanted to make his thoughts known in order to protect people.
We did it wrong. What we should have done was act early, act fast, act decisively, and we would have had fewer cases. Even an individual like myself can be a force for good, and you can influence. So in my case, I did what I thought I could do the best, which was start talking about it.
While there is now a COVID-19 inquiry looking into the government's handling of the pandemic, at the time the senior clinical lecturer faced a backlash for his thoughts.
The fallout is people disagree with you, there will be government departments that disagree with you, there will be so many people that want to silence you and quieten you. And then there are, of course, people who also find your email and write to you and write either racist things, abusive things. Do I next expect a parcel in the post? Do I next expect smashed windows?
This is not the first time Dr. Bharat and his family have faced adversity. He was born in 1960 to Indian parents in Kenya. When he was just 14 years old, he had to leave his home after the Kenyanisation policy came into place.
We held British passports, so people like my father were unable to work. And as a result of not being able to work, because you needed a work permit, we became poorer by the day. Either you become Kenyans or you leave. India said, well, you're not Indians, you're British, you've got British passports, so nothing to do with us. So we were caught in limbo whilst the immigration services in the United Kingdom allocated us a visa to come to the UK. In the morning I was at school, I was summoned to the headmaster's office mid-morning. The headmaster suddenly gives me my school leaving certificate, and my father takes me home. So I never said goodbyes to any of my friends.
Once his family had arrived in England, Dr. Bharat was put in a class with other students who were immigrants. They were not expected to take exams and were told they would leave school at 16.
I sneaked into a library, wrote down, remember, no photocopiers, so I wrote down the syllabus for all the subjects, and I went through that subject line by line, item by item, and I taught myself.
Continuing the garden tour, it's clear to see the impact Dr. Bharat has had, even having roses named after him for his help to people during the pandemic. He says his experience has been shaped by his heritage.
I'm 100% British, and I've lived here most of my life. However, I think I bring added value, and the added value I bring is, as you can see in my garden, this is me, the Indian and the African, living in the UK, bringing that nature in which I was brought up with.
A man determined to give back both to the natural world and society, helping to retain harmony. Annie Olsen, ITV News.